Welcome to Trimet 101. Today we are going to be talking about bus garages and block numbers. I'll explain what that is. So firstly, I should probably introduce where Trimet stores their buses and trains. Let's start with rail. Elmonica is right off the blue line in Beaverton and stores a decent chunk of the blue lines as well as all of the red lines. Then you've also got Ruby Junction, also off the blue line, which is a much older and larger train yard that stores the rest of the blue lines as well as all green, orange, and yellow lines. And it has a Gresham address, barely. Buses have 3 main garages they can be stored at. Center Garage is the oldest, off of 17th Avenue. It can be viewed right on the Max Orange line if you look on 17th Avenue, out the left windows if you're going toward Milwaukee, or out the right windows if you're going toward Portland. I'm adding way too much confusion. Or you can access it by the lines 17 or 70. Powell Garage is a garage that is currently under renovation and construction that seems to never end. It's located on Powell Boulevard, right off of the line 9, and can be accessed by the line 9. It's currently being expanded and extended and is going to be configured in such a way to where it can store 60-foot buses that will be running on Division Street this fall. It is also getting equipped with 24 battery electric chargers to accommodate 24 battery electric buses. I've never actually been there myself. I've been in the general area, but I've never been to Powell Garage, so I don't have really any good videos of it. So you'll just have to believe me on it, but it is big. And it existed beforehand, but it's currently being reconstructed, and it's been under construction since I was probably in middle school. Merlo Garage is the only garage on the west side, and provides buses for the west side, as well as downtown Portland. This garage also has electric bus chargers, and we have 5 Gillig electrics and 5 New Flyer electrics that charge here. I'm not sure if this has already happened or not, but they were supposed to install 6 more chargers at Merlo for a total of 18, I think, to accommodate more electric buses. This garage is a bit hidden, but can be accessed from the Merlo Road Max Station on the Blue Line and by walking down 158th Avenue. It's a bit out of the way, but it's a very cool thing. And if you're in the nature park right next door, there are certain trails you can go on where you can look up and see the bus garage and sometimes buses over there. It's kind of weird. The West stores its trains in Wilsonville, right there at the end of the line, right next to the main line. They just store the trains there. It's really not too exciting, but you can see the old Bud RDCs from the Alaska Railway up there, as well as the Trinity Railway cars that have never entered service to this day. Those are sitting there. But other than that, it's really not too exciting out there. If you don't already know this, then it's going to sound like I'm making it up, but it's true. Streetcars are stored under the freeway, underneath I-405, right there in northwest Portland. If you've never seen it for yourself, you'd never know it was there. You can't see it on satellite images or anything. You have to take a streetcar there or walk. If you take the NS Line streetcar, then as you pass around the 15th, 16th Avenue area on Northrop or Lovejoy streets, you'll see the yard. It spans several city blocks underneath I-405. So now let's talk about Trimet's unofficial 4th bus garage. This would be the one up at Columbia Boulevard. This is what's currently storing our new electric bus deliveries as well as our 60-foot buses for Division Transit Project until Powell Garage gets finished, if it ever gets finished. I'm not sure how many electric chargers they have here, but it's not an official garage yet, so that doesn't really matter. It used to be a Cat crane construction company until they went out of business. I'm not really sure exactly what happened there, but Trimet bought out the land and is going to renovate the buildings. They were in the process of doing that to at least one building, I think, but then COVID happened and then it messed everything up, and so now a lot of things have been put on hold at the Columbia site. If you want to see this one, it can be seen from the Line 75 on Columbia Boulevard. Alright, now time to teach you how to read block numbers. Have you ever seen those digital numbers in the corner of a bus where the windshield is? If you remember from long enough ago, you might also remember when they were mechanical block numbers. I'm going to teach you how to read those. The first two digits are the line number. It really is that easy. So if you're looking at a line 20 bus, for example, all of them will have a 20 in the corner as its first two digits. If it's a single digit bus line, like say line 9, then it'll just be a 3-digit block number that begins with 9. The last two digits are the run from the garage that it's starting from. 01 through 33 are from Center Garage, 34 through 66 are from Powell Garage, and 67 through 99 are from Merlo Garage. They're divided into equal thirds. Now they won't ever run 33 buses on one line out of one garage, so you'll never see all of those in use. And so some extra service buses might count back from 99. So an extra service 20 bus might say 2099, and then they'll count back from there for all the extra service buses, but that's really rare and we won't get into that more than that. Alright, we're going to take a quiz here in a second, but firstly let's put it all together. So, if you see 5767, then you know that it's line 57, because those are the first two digits. And then 67 means it's a Merlo run. The first Merlo run, no less, because it starts at 67. Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. All line 57 buses originate from Merlo, which is true. But there are a couple of bus lines that take, in fact, there are many bus lines that take buses out of two different garages, and there are even a couple of bus lines, like the 20, that take buses out of all three garages. Although the 20 just barely, it only has two out of Center. So 2001 would be a Center line 20 bus. 2034 would be a Powell line 20 bus. And 2067 would be a Merlo line 20 bus. Those buses are going to have to go back to those garages, no matter how many operator changes there are in the middle of the day or whatever. They have to go back to those garages. Alright, so now I'm going to ask you 5 questions. I'm going to list 5 block numbers, and your job is to answer them with what bus line number is it, and what garage does it come from. So let me just make up some example. 168. 168 would be a line 1 from Merlo Garage. Alright, let's black the screen, and here are 5 block numbers. Pause the video, go ahead and answer them. What bus line number and what garage do they come from? Alright, the answers will be given now, so if you haven't answered them yet, pause the video. 7671 is a Merlo line 76. 1238 is a line 12 from Powell. 1504 is a 15 from Center. 209 is a line 2 from Center. And 2075 is a 20 from Merlo. See if you got all those right. Fun fact, the 2075 block is the block that the long-range Gillig electric buses like to run on when they run them on the 20 on weekdays. So 2075 is the block they always run on there because it's the shortest one on the line 20 on a weekday from Merlo. So what about for those few 3-digit bus lines? You know, the 152, 154, 155, 156. Well, the block numbers in the bus only have enough room to display 4 numbers. So the 1 at the beginning gets chopped off. So, for example, a line 155 from Powell is not 155.34 because there aren't 5 digits to be able to display that. So they drop the 1 off the beginning, and a 155 from Powell is just 55.34. And it doesn't conflict with anything because line 55 doesn't have any buses coming out of Powell. Alright, so what happens when Columbia opens? There's clearly not, like I say, there aren't any 5-digit block numbers or anything. So what do you do? Well, I would imagine the whole thing will get reorganized. It's not like Trimet opens new bus garages every so often. This system has been in use for a very long time because the bus garages have been around for decades. But if Columbia does open, they will have to reorganize the blocks, and I'll imagine they will just shrink it into 25s. And notice that the block numbers go in order from the time the garage is opened. Center, Powell, Merlo, and now Columbia. So I would guess if they're going to reorganize it with Columbia bus base, starting points, it would be 1 through 25, Center, 26 through 50, Powell, 51 through 75, Merlo, and 76 through 99, Columbia. However, not so fast. I have said time and time again that the west side is severely underserved. Large areas of Hillsborough just don't have bus service. Beaverton is well served, but not Hillsborough, even though Hillsborough has higher population than Beaverton. And I think Merlo Garage is already being used up as much as it pretty much can. So I really think a 5th bus garage is necessary for such a thing. And so, before you start reorganizing all these bus block numbers, Trimet, I really think you ought to consider purchasing some sort of property, like I mentioned in last week's video, purchasing somewhere in Hillsborough, but I have the perfect site up at Cornell Road and Cornelius Pass where there's a field, and you just need a little portion of that field. So if you do that, then you would need to reorganize the block numbers again, which would give you 20 runs out of each bus garage, which would mean the block numbers would be now 1 through 20, Center, 21 through 40, Powell, 41 through 60, Merlo, 61 through 80, Columbia, and 81 through 99, West Side, Cornell, whatever you'll call it. However, one more catch. Sometimes Center and Powell will run a lot of bus lines on one line, and it might be more than 20 buses. So I think if you weight those ones a bit heavier than the rest, then you could give 25 runs for those, and then 20 to Merlo, and then figure out the rest. One possibility is, you could say, have 1 through 25, Center, 26 through 50, Powell, 51 through 70, Merlo, 71 through 90, Columbia, and 91 through 99 being Cornell. But that might be a bit unfair, only leaving 10 there at the end for Cornell, so you could split the difference and have 15 at Columbia and 15 at Cornell. If this is way too confusing, apologies. But if you want to organize it by weight of this bus is probably going to have more buses coming out of it because it's bigger, so let's give them a bit more room, then I think the final solution that I would do for 5 bus garages are 1 through 25, Center, 26 through 50, Powell, 51 through 70, Merlo, 71 through 85, Columbia, and 86 through 99, Cornell. And then extra buses would begin at 99 and count backwards, just like they currently do. Alright, we've hit the end of the video. I want to hear what you guys think of my ideas, and hopefully you learned something here, or you probably already knew it because whatever. But if you didn't know about block numbers before, now you know what those 3 or 4 digits in the corner of the bus mean when they say 2075. You now know exactly where that bus came from. So there you go. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you Friday.